It's the behind the shade show.
If you were to go to the doctor and they said that you were damaged in some way, broken arm, broken finger, you would take it very seriously. And I wonder then sometimes because they can see the damage, they can see maybe what it looks like from a pain perspective.
Mhm.
If I'm someone that is emotionally bankrupt,
Mm.
I may not have a reminder of that on a daily basis in comparison to a broken arm, where I have a reminder of it on a daily basis, right? Like every time I put on my shirt, I'm like, oh my God, this hurts, Jamie.
Yeah, yeah,
Just give
yeah.
me something, right? And then from an emotional standpoint, sorry, from a avoidance standpoint, I could avoid go to work, work 14 hours, and the person that I'm hurting, hopefully they're in bed. And then the cycle continues.
Hmm.
For those who are on the other side, who are in a relationship with someone like that, what maybe are some ways or maybe some advice that we can give to them to help themselves? Because at the end of the day, you really can't help those that don't want to be helped.
Absolutely. Yep. You can't change someone else as much as you want to. Uh, and I'm one of those people. This is going to be preaching to the choir here. I am super empathetic. I'm super hopeful when it comes. I see possibilities in people. So I've been in the relationships where I've ignored the red flags and I've said, well, but this person has A, B, and C really, really great qualities. And if I love them enough, if I'm patient enough, I can help them. I can bring out those good qualities and reduce the bad qualities. And those people, if they, like you said, if they don't want to change, they're not going to. They're just not, you know? It's the same with, you know, what we've heard with addicts, an alcoholic or a drug addict, someone with a substance use disorder. If they don't want to get help, they're not going to. It doesn't matter what you do. You can put them in jail for 3, 6 months and they come out, they're dry as a bone. But guess what they're going to be doing in the next 3 weeks? Almost guarantee it's almost like clockwork. Before they hit 30 days, they're back on it. So when it comes to relationships, first of all, you work on yourself, you know, okay, what do I need to do so that I have more peace in my life and inside? Understand that um, you can work on what's internal. You can't always fix what's external. Talk with someone if you can about where your hard lines are going to be. If you're already in the relationship, obviously you're there because you care about the person. You want to be there. You want to have a good relationship, but you there has to be a point where you we're willing to walk away. And it's not going to be good. It's not going to be what you want, but it might be what needs to happen, and you need to identify that point. Then you can just talk with the person that you're in the relationship with and say, hey, you know, can I share with you some things that I'm thinking and feeling? And make it, instead of accusatory, instead of saying, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're doing that, make it, hey, this is how I feel. So when I want to share good news with you and I'm trying to communicate that and I'm not getting the time and attention, that I feel that I need, it really hurts my feelings. That really makes me feel alone in this relationship. Um, you know, when I do a lot of extra work, around the house or with the car or, romantically or sexually or emotionally, and I just am not seeing the reciprocation, I really feel unwanted. Um, or on the other side, on the avoidance side, if, look, when I say that I just need some time to myself, I just need a couple of hours by myself to kind of process life and process my own thoughts and emotions. Um, and if I don't get that time, I feel smothered. I feel like I'm losing my independence and like I get afraid and I want to run. And so you got to be honest and then communicate it in the right way to where it's not accusatory. And again, if the person wants to work on it, then that gives you a talking point. And if they are like, oh, okay, it's not my intentions. I didn't mean to make you feel that way, or I didn't realize I was doing that. I'm sorry, something. If you get some kind of accepting response, then that's when you can say, and again, we'll take this back to improvements in physical health or emotional health. The same with relational health. One step at a time. So don't just go and blurt out, hey, here's 12 things I want to see improved in the next month. No, just start with one. Say, okay, well, something that would I would really enjoy is, when we first started dating, we would go out at least once a week. We would go out to dinner. Can we do that again? Or, something I really enjoy is when we just cuddle up and watch a movie. Maybe after we're tired from the day, maybe it's just time to be together. Can we plan on that at, like on the weekends or something to try to do that? You know, find one thing to help. And that's kind of that progression of how you begin to heal in that relationship. So start with yourself. Don't accuse, but honestly share your feelings and how you feel, not how it's the other person's fault. And then make a suggestion for an improvement, but be willing to put in your part and to listen to the other part. Is there something that you would like? Is there something that you would like to see different, either that I can do or that we can do together? You mentioned you feel smothered if you say you need some time, and I I don't always hear you say, quote, I need some time. I just see you get frustrated and walk into another room. I don't know what's going on. So how can we communicate that? And I will be more than happy to say, okay, great. You go do you and for a while and I'm going to go do something else. And in 2 hours, I'm going to check on you and just see if you're doing okay. Is that good? So, you're not only expressing your own feelings and needs, but you have to listen as well. And hopefully the two of you can agree to work on that and take it a little step at a time.
I learned the value of listening and speaking probably I want to say 10 years ago, 15 years ago in my 20s. And the reason I learned it is I was having unsuccessful friendships and relationships.
Mm,
And you made an example of addiction. I had to hit rock bottom in order to come back up because I would look around and it wasn't making sense because I would ask myself, Terrain, you want to achieve X,
mhm,
but why are all these people not contributing to that success? And then when I learned that lesson, I began to realize what was broken inside of me
mhm.
was what I was searching for in others to help them fix,
Absolutely. And
right?
that's true about all of us. We
Do you
do.
see how important is it for people to understand that point where they're sometimes you're searching for what's broken inside of you in others so you can fix it in them.
Oh yeah, extremely important. And if you think about it, it makes sense. We're relational beings. We desire connection. Even if we're talking about substance abuse, 9 times out of 10, it's not the substance. It's not the substance that's the problem. It's that there's something else broken, some other connection that's broken or missing than maybe a void and that person's trying to fill. They're trying to numb. There's an emotional issue there. So when it comes to our relationships, we kind of just naturally want the same type of love that we're giving, and we kind of expect that from the other person. And we also want that to fix, like you said, what's inside us that's missing, that's broken, that's off balance. Um, and it's funny because the most of the time we don't realize that we don't think about it in these terms. For one, we're not taught to. E- Even in a good family, even in a good, stable family, you get more out of watching as a child growing up than you do out of hearing. There's not a lot of teaching. I used to have a pastor years and years and years ago, and he used to say this, and it annoyed me to no end. And now looking back, I understand why he was saying it. He says, he said, more is caught than is taught. And what you show your children, the example you show them, that's how they learn to behave, how to think about themselves, how to treat others, more so than you telling. So you can, so for instance, when I was growing up, my dad smoked and my stepmom smoked. And they would say, don't smoke. Okay. How much sense did that make? You're both sitting there puffing away and saying, don't smoke because it's bad for you. That don't make any sense.